Hello. Hello. Everyone. Can you see me?
Hi.
No.
Hi.
Okay, let me again. Okay. Okay, so how are you guys?
Good. I still can't see anything.
Yes, I am also confused why I cannot. Yes.
Oh, I can see now. Hello.
Yes. So how are you all?
Good. How are you?
Okay, so how many of you have Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You were cutting out though.
Yeah, you were.
Okay, so let's get started with our class. Let's and close your eyes. Let's make any mudra of your feet. We will chant 3 times Om together. Take a deep breath in. Join your hands together in front of your heart center and then bow your head down to the God. And then open your eyes while blinking and namaste to everyone. Okay, let's practice a little, then we'll go further for the alignment of the posture. Okay, can you hear me properly? Am I audible to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with some salutation, then we go further. Come up on your mat. So we are going to do each and every posture's alignment. Like it is not vinyasa, it is not ashtanga. here you won't have much practice, but we'll talk about the alignment of the posture. Okay. So come up on the top of your mat. Now, as you inhale, take your hands up over the head, arms high, and make an arch on your back. So this is the second posture of your hatha consolidation. Do not push your hip forward. Keep your hips back above your ankle. Open up from the thoracic region. Make an arch on your back. Exhale, drop your head down, bend forward. And then send your right leg back. Drop your back knee on the floor. Look in front, sink your hip down. Exhale, send your left leg back for the mountain. And drop your knee down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the cobra or bhujangasana. Good job, Karen. Exhale, roll back for the mountain or downward facing dog. Now step your left leg forward between your hands. Drop your back knee on the floor. Sink your hip down. Open up your chest. Make a cup of finger. 3, 2, and then 1. And then send your right leg forward. Inhale, all the way come up. Exhale, join your hands together. Inhale, again take your hands up over the head. Exhale, bend forward from your hip joint. Send your left leg back. Drop your back knee on the floor. Look in front, sink it down, and then hold 3. Back knee on the floor. 2, and then 1. Exhale, send your right leg back to the plank or mountain or parvatasana. Drop your knee down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the bhujangasana. Hips on the floor, elbows should be bent. Exhale, again roll back for the mountain. Bring your feet together so that you won't lose your energy from your Mula Bandha. Again, step your right leg forward. Drop your back knee on the floor. Left knee on the floor. Sink your hip down. Exhale, left leg forward into forward bend. Inhale, take your hands up over the head, all the way high. Open up your chest. Keep your hips back. Look in front. Now, after this, bend your elbows and roll your shoulders back. Bend your elbows and roll your shoulders back into cactus hands. Just look at here once. Make a cactus hand. Yeah. Bend your elbows, look up high. 3, very nice. 2, and last 1. Exhale, all the way bend forward. Drop your head down. Press your hands on the floor into forward bend. So stay here for a while and open your legs according to the hip distance. So there should be a little gap between your both legs. Yes. And from here, try to touch your abdomen and feel your tailbone is moving high toward the ceiling. Okay. So first purpose is to get that extension on your hips. And then second purpose is to get that extension on your spine. Okay. So we are not working on the hamstring here because we have like tight hamstring into this posture in the beginning. Inhale, halfway look up. Take a finger to support. Very nice. Use your lower back strength. You can this time keep your legs straight and engage into your back posterior group of muscles. Exhale, press your hands on the floor, send your legs back for the plank. Press your palms, jump back, walk back, plank. And then lower your chest down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Bend your elbows. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the cobra or bhujangasana or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll back for the downward facing dog. Very nice, good job. Now press your palms on the floor, bend your knees, and then jump front. Look in front, look forward, and jump front. Halfway look up, exhale, bend down, all the way forward. Inhale, take your hands up over the head, all the way high. Exhale, release your hands down. So if you guys have any injury, so please let me know and go accordingly. No injury?
Just
Good
my
job.
right knee.
Okay, you have already told me.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, take your hands up over the head, hands high. Exhale, bend forward from your hip joint. Now, this time we will do moon salutation. Now, send your left leg back. Drop your back knee on the floor. Look in front. And now take your hands up in the air for crescent moon, crescent lunge. Sink your hip down. Look in front. Make an arch on your back. Exhale, hands on the floor. Send your right leg back for the mountain. Now drop your knee down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the Cobra, Bhujangasana. Hips on the floor, bend your elbows. So in Bhujangasana, Cobra pose, your elbows should be bent as always. Exhale, roll back for the mountain again. Press your hands on the floor. Keep reaching high with your tailbone. Exhale, step your right leg forward between your hands. Drop your back knee again. While inhaling, take your arms up over the head. Sink your hip down. Push the hip forward. And then hold 3, 2, and last 1. Exhale, hands on the floor. Step your left leg forward into forward bend. Inhale, again take your hands high. Exhale, again bend forward, complete down. Take your left leg back this time. This time your right leg should be back. Right leg. Just send your right leg back. Then take your arms up over the head. Sink your hip down again. Exhale, hands on the floor. And then send your left leg back for the mountain. Bring your feet together. Squeeze in from your inner thighs. Drop your knee down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Ashtanga Namaskar, 8 limbs on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the Cobra. Hips on the floor, bend your elbows. Exhale, roll back for the mountain. Step your left leg forward. Drop your back knee on the floor. And then reach your arms high, sink your hip down. And then hold there, 3. Very nice. 2. And then 1. Inhale. And then exhale, press your hands on the floor. And then step your back leg forward into forward bend. Inhale, take your arms up over the head. Exhale, bend forward again. Now send your right leg back and then left leg back. Drop your knee, chest in on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward, Cobra or Bhujangasana. Exhale, roll back the mountain or downward facing dog. Now drop your knee down, rest in child pose. Okay, let's talk about a little, let's talk about the flexibility and the strength of your of the posture. How do we usually get this? Okay. So let's suppose your purpose is to get the strength. Your purpose is to build the strength of your arms, to build the strength of your lower back, so that you can find that stability into particular posture. Right? See, if you are going for the flexibility, first we need to work on that mobility of that joint. So basically, what happens? The mobility that usually comes in your muscles. You already know this, right? So in order to get into that flexibility, we have to work out, first of all, only on our mobility of the joint. So that's why we have joint movements in the beginning. Like you will work the joints, we actually do not go for the strength. Work on movements are awaken. Then glass. Okay.
Sorry, we couldn't hear anything you said.
Yeah, that cut out.
Yes, where we were. Okay, we were talking about the mobility of the joints, right? So before we get into the flexibility, we are going to work out on the mobility of our joints. Okay, so there are two girdles. These are very important: your hip girdle, your pelvic girdle, and your shoulder socket. Right? So they have a tendency to rotate like whatever is attached to it. Your like from the shoulder socket, your humerus bone is attached. From your hip girdle, there is your femur bone, right? So that should be rotated outward. So this is the tendency of our body. It is easy to rotate your arm outward as compared to inward, right? So take your hands up. You will understand by this. Take your hands up. So if your arms is in neutral position, you're gonna take your hands further than this. Take your hands back. So it won't go further than this. If the moment when you rotate your arms outward and then take your hands high, so it is going to increase its mobility, right? So what we are trying to do here is to get that space, and then throughout that space we can create let we are just allowing our shoulder socket to let your humerus bone rotate outward, more out, right? So the more you rotate your arms outward, the more extension that comes in your thoracic region, right? So all the way these muscles are connected to your scapulas. If your scapula is open, then it's very easy to open up from the thoracic region. Have you understood? So the moment when you get into that any back bend, let's suppose you are going for the chakrasana, let's suppose you are going for the cobra pose or upward facing dog, make sure you should have that stability on your lower back. So we are going to open from the thoracic region. So there are two stretches that happens in your lower back, sorry, that happens in your spine. First thoracic, second lumbar region. You may have seen people like who can touch their hip on their head, right? So it means they have hyperextended their lower back. I don't say like they do not have strength. They have enough strength to hold the posture. They have enough flexibility. They have worked out on the mobility of the joints, right? So that's how we're going to work on. Just open up from the thoracic region in the beginning. Then after you can go for the lumbar region flexibility. Okay. So our body is designed in such a way where you get mobility, stability, mobility, stability after one another. Let's suppose if you talk about our ankle, can you rotate your ankles all the way out? Can you make a circle on the axis of one particular point? Yes. So it means it should be mobile, right? If you do not have mobility on your ankle, then it will get freeze and you will be collapsing one way or other way, right? So you should have flexibility, you should have mobility on your ankle joint. Understood? If you have stiffness on your ankle joint, let's suppose you have stiffness, can you walk? Do you really think if you're walking, will it be like you know, can it cannot hold you, it cannot bear that jerk, right? So while walking we have lots and lots of jerk, but it can bear it because it has this tendency to move up and down, right? The same thing, let's come up to your knee. Does it have stability or mobility? What do you think? And what should it have?
Flexion and extension.
You can, it has only two
Extension and flexion.
action. What are these? Flexion and extension. It has only two action, flexion and extension. Like you can extend your leg forward or bend back. So otherwise you cannot rotate your knee all the way out. You cannot make a circle throughout it. Can you make a circle with your knee?
No,
No. Why is it so?
because it's not a ball joint.
Yeah, grab your back of your knee, grab your, sorry, in the back, interlace your finger behind and make a circle. Try to make a circle. Yes, you can make a circle, right? Without,
From
you
my
can make,
hip. Yeah, from the hip.
but it's coming directly from your hip joint. Okay, so it means that circle is not directly coming from your knee, it is coming from your hip joint. So that's why it should have stability. It means we need to work on the stability of our knee joint. We don't need to go for the flexibility of our knee joint. It should be always stable, right? If you're going for the flexibility of your knee, you will definitely collapse and you cannot find the center of the gravity. So it's very important to understand where we should have strength, where we should have stability, where should we have mobility, right? So that's how we're going to understand where we should have mobility, where we should have stability. Okay, so your knee has stability. What about your hip, your pelvic girdle?
Mobility.
Mobility, because it has that space and it can create, and it is allowing your leg to rotate all the way around, right? So that's why we have mobility in our hip joint. But hypermobility is not good for your body. Mobility is fine. If you're too much hyperextended, means you can take your leg anywhere, like over your head, then there will be like jerk, there will be friction will happen in between the joint and your nerves will get compressed. So we are not going to do that. We're going to go for the mobility, but not for the hypermobility. Okay. So let's move further for your spine. What about your lower back? Can you make a circle from your lower back?
No.
No? Okay. Can you twist your lower back?
Yes. Yeah, your spine rotates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rotating. So it has a little mobility in your lower back, but the maximum stress that usually comes on your lumbar, like first vertebra of your lumbar. Have you understood? Welcome, Umesh Raoji.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, तो हम अभी उसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. We are talking about the mobility, stability,
Yeah,
so
sure.
which is placed in our body alternatively.
Yeah.
One by one. ठीक है. तो अभी हमने बात करी. We have talked about the lumbar region. Now we are going
Right.
further, like upward to your head. So we have already talked about lumbar region. Lumbar should have stability because it has a little mobility, but we cannot go for too much mobility of your lower back, right? But your lumbar region, where your lumbar starts from the thoracic end of the thoracic region and then lumbar region. So there we have mobility. We can twist out from the upper thoracic region. What does that mean? If you're twisting your spine, let's suppose you're twisting your spine back. So the maximum twisting is coming from your lumbar region. Lumbar region means L1. So there we have 5 vertebrae in lumbar region. Lumbar 1, lumbar 2, lumbar 3, lumbar 4, lumbar 5. But the maximum twisting that usually comes from the lumbar 1. Okay, so we don't need to twist from the bottom of your spine. If you're twisting that, then you will get hurt and you may be having that nerves compression. So we are going to avoid these things in our yoga classes. Okay, so let's go further. But your thoracic region cannot move. Your thoracic region cannot open like this. So it's quite stable. This is your thoracic region till here, right? You cannot bend from here. You cannot bend from your chest. You have to bend from the lumbar region. Lumbar L1 only, not from the L2, L3, L4. L2, L3, L4 has that tendency to move, but we cannot work too much on it. If you're putting a lot of pressure there, so maximum problem like your herniated disc, slip disc, or any your sciatica pain that comes usually in your L2 to L5. So we are going to avoid to get that extension on the lower back. So we will work on the upper thoracic region or from the chest region. So we usually say open your heart, open your chest. What does that mean? To open from the thoracic region, not from the lumbar region. Have you understood? So there are pressure you may understand when you are practicing. So let's do it. Come up on the cobra pose or bhujangasana. You will understand by this. So let's suppose you are in the cobra pose. Okay. So now press your hands on the floor and open up your chest, roll your shoulders back. So you must be shifting that pressure on your lower back, right? From your thoracic region to your lower back. You may feel, you can close your eyes, then understand how it's going to get shifted to your lower back. You will have all pressure in your lower back. If you're pressing too much and you're looking up, right? Now that pressure we are going to avoid. We are not letting that pressure to go on your lumbar region. Okay. Now again, take your hands out to the side, make a cup of finger. This time, make a cup of finger like this. Just look at me here once. Make a cup of finger and keep it here, beside of your chest. Okay. Take your hands slightly more wide apart. Take your hands wide apart. Very nice. And then press your fingertips, roll your shoulders back, and then pull up high. Pull up high, press your hands. Keep your hips on the floor, open up high, and just maintain this pulling action from your thoracic region. Very nice. Lower your hips down, roll your shoulders back. Good job. Roll, roll, roll. And now what do you feel? Is it still happening on your lumbar region or
No,
it is getting stopped on your thoracic region?
the
Yes,
thoracic.
The
The
thoracic.
thoracic.
Yes.
Yes.
Thoracic region should be open, not from the lumbar region we are going to open. Okay. So lumbar region also fine, but we are going to work first on the lumbar region, right? So once you work out, like once you get into the yoga for 5 or 6 months, then once you have good experience, how you're going to stretch, then you can go for the lumbar region. But in the beginning, it's very important to go for from the thoracic region. Okay, so in your yoga practice, it is going to help you out to get more flexible, to get more strengthful and all. Okay, let's talk about the cervical region. Is it stable or mobile?
What region?
What about cervical region? Is it mobile or stable?
Stable except for the top two.
Yeah, stable because it's directly moving from your top of your head, from your skull. So if you see your head, if you're making circle with it, okay, if you're making circle with it, it means it does not mean it's coming from the cervical region. It's directly coming from your top of your vertebra. Okay, you can turn your head from the. This movement is not coming from your cervical region, so it should be stable. Have you understood? Okay, let's go further from your for your shoulder socket. What about shoulder socket? What do you think? How it should be?
Wait a minute, Raul,
Yes,
question?
yes,
Your
yes.
cervical spine at the very top is rotational. So mobility is important.
See, your cervical region does not move actually. Your cervical region is stable, but your neck is moving. Just look at your neck, it's moving from the top.
That's your cervical spine,
What?
but that's your cervical spine. Your
Yeah,
neck is.
cervical spine. So it should be stable because it has two actions. What are these? Flexion, extension. Okay, so when we have two action, there should be stability. When we have more action, more than like two actions, then we can say it should have mobility. Understood?
But it does have mobility because you can circle your neck. That's your cervical spine. That's the axis and
Yeah, the axis in
and
there.
your atlas and axis and your cervical spine.
Yes,
They
but
can
most,
rotate.
yeah, it cannot rotate, but they can rotate, but the cervical region at the top, I don't say like the cervical region that also comes in there, the axis one. So, but the maximum stretch when you are going for the back bend, the maximum we stretch from the cervical region mainly, right? So we need to just work on the stability on it. So we will work on the muscles of it. We are not going to work on the extension of the vertebrae, right? The less extension should be there on your vertebrae, but the maximum stress should be on your muscles. Okay, so let's go further for the shoulder socket. So it should be mobile because it can move all the way around. Okay, so let's talk about your elbow. What happens to your elbow when can it move all the way around? No, it should have that stability because it can move only. It can increase the angle or it can decrease the angle. The two actions are there, flexion, extension, means it should have stability. When you're going for the side plank, right? When you're going for the side plank, many times what happens, you don't find that stability on your elbows. So here on the plank, when you're doing plank, then you get that stability. So what about your wrist? Should it be mobile or stable?
Stable.
Stable. Wrist should not be stable because
It doesn't rotate.
see your wrist should be mobile. If see when you're going for the inversions, like in the morning you're directly entering into your yoga class and practicing without wrist warm up, you get that pain on your wrist, right? Many a time. Why does this happen? Because you had that stability, but it should have mobility, right? You had stability throughout the night, you were sleeping and your hand were not working. That's why it has got that stability. So that's why in the beginning of the class, we work out on the joints so that we won't get hurt because our muscles stiffness, our bones are together, the compression of the bones, right? So that happens into there. So in order to release that, tension from your hands, then we work on the mobility of our joints. So before we go into inversions, we're going to work on the mobility of our wrist. Okay. So what about your fingers? Can you make a circle with your finger? No. So it should have stability. Okay. So that's how our body is designed, like stability, mobility, stability, mobility, stability, mobility, that comes after one another. So this is the perfect like design, like it's a perfect design so that we can stand up and we can find the balance too against the gravity. So if you if we did not have this mobility, stability alternatively, we would definitely fall over. We could not stand. We could not, we must be crawling and all. So that's why like God has made such a beautiful body and gave us. So any other question that you want to ask? No? So let's practice one more time. Okay, find yourself on your mat.
There you go.
Yeah, stand up straight. Now take your hands up over the head, arms high. Exhale, bend forward from your hip joint. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, and then jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Normalize your breath. 3, 2, and then 1. Press your palms, bend your knees, jump front, halfway look up. Exhale, completely bend forward. Inhale, all the way come up. Exhale, again bend down. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, press your palms, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, press your palms, bend your knees, jump front, halfway look up. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, again, take your hands up over the head. Exhale, release your hands down. Normalize your breath. Again, take your arms up over the head. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, bend, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. 3, 2, and then 1. Now press your palms, bend your knees, jump front for the halfway look up. Exhale, completely bend forward. Inhale, all the way come up. Exhale, release your hands down. Inhale, again, take your arms up over the head. Exhale, bend forward from your hip joint. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now hold there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now press your palms, bend your knees, jump front for the halfway look up. Exhale, bend down. Inhale, all the way come up. Exhale, release your hands down beside of your hips. Again, take your arms up over the head. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Normalize your breath, bend your knees, rest in child pose. Now find yourself on the tabletop. Inhale, lift your head up, make an arch on your back. Exhale, drop your head down, hump on your back. Push your hip forward. Inhale, again lift your head up. Exhale, head down, hump on your back. Push your hip forward. Inhale, lift your head up. Exhale, head down, hump on your back. For the last time, inhale, lift your head up. And then exhale, tuck your toes under, reach your hips high for the downward facing dog. Yes, reach your hips high, lift your heel off the floor, press your knuckle of the toes on the floor and reach your tailbone high and then hold. 5, 4, you can bend your knees, bring your thigh close to your abdomen. 3, 2, and then 1. Now swing your spine forward for the plank. And then drop your knee down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward. Exhale, roll back for the mountain or downward facing dog. Now press your palms, bend your knees, jump outside of your palms for the yogi squat. Yes, join your hands together. Lower your hip down, very nice. Now press your hands against each other to open your hips more out. Just keep opening, look in front. Keep taking your chest up. 3, 2, and then 1. Exhale, place your hands on the floor and then swing forward for the crow pose and then back. Do not hold that posture. Crow and then back. If you can, crow and then move back. Do not hold, press and then move back. Very nice. Keep pressing, swing forward and back. 5, 4, 3, crow pose and then back and then 1. And then press your palms, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana from the crow pose, if it's possible. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out, inhale and exhale. 3, 2, and then 1. Inhale, and then exhale. Again, swing forward for the plank. Drop your knee down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, roll back for the downward facing dog or the plank. Now press your palms, bend your knees, jump outside of your palms again for the yogi squat. Very nice. Look in front, sink your hip down. If you cannot drop your heels on the floor, you can use something underneath your heels so that you can push that thing against the floor. Exhale, press your hands, swing forward for the crow pose. Exhale, roll back. Swing forward and then again roll back. Bahut badhiya. Again, swing forward and roll back. 5, 4, keep swinging. 3, 2, and then 1. Press your palms and jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop a knee down, rest in child pose. And then rest. Now from there, find yourself in the tabletop again. Now tuck your toes under, lift your both knees 1 inch away from the floor. Lift your both knees 1 inch away from the floor and then hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Drop a knee down and sit in any comfortable pose into any comfortable sitting posture. Now join your hands together in front of your heart center and then close your eyes, normalize your breath. Bring that all awareness on your sitting posture. Join your hands together in front of your heart center. We will chant 1 Om followed by 3 Santi. Inhale. Shanti. Shanti. Now bow your head down to the God, to the Mother Nature. Open your eyes while blinking. And namaste to everyone. Thank you so much for
Namaste.
joining me here.
Thank you.
And any question
Thank
that
you.
you want to ask? Yes, Karen, you were saying, right, like that stability, like we have stability in our cervical region, but at the very top, we have mobility. At the very top, it means like you can reach up from here, but here you cannot reach up, right? So this should be stable. So that top part, that should be mobile. Yes. Okay, so it was very nice meeting you guys, and thank you so much for joining me here. Namaste and take care. Bye bye.
Namaste, Rao.
Thank you very much.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Be well.
You also.
Thank you.
You're welcome.